Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the RNCM. Would you please stand for the President's procession?
Please take your seats. Good afternoon. A very warm welcome to RNCM's 2023 congregation. My name is Ravi Gupta. I have the honor and privilege of chairing this wonderful institution. On behalf of the board, many congratulations to all of our students today. Each and every one of you should be very proud of what you have achieved. Never underestimate the achievement and the milestone that this will mark in your careers. I think that deserves a huge round of applause. The future of the music industry is in safe hands indeed. We hope you enjoy this day with your loved ones, your family, and your dear friends. And remember, this is the exciting start of the next chapter in your lives. Without further ado, I would like to formally declare this congregation open. Please do lend a warm hand for our principal, Linda Merrick.
Good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome to today's Congregation of Awards. This special occasion is where we celebrate the achievements of our students and thank them for the contribution they have made to the life of the college. It's our opportunity to thank you, their parents, families and friends for the support you have given over so many years, and also an opportunity for me to pay tribute to my colleagues here at the RNCM who work so tirelessly on behalf of our students. Each year, we are delighted to confer associateship, fellowship and honorary membership of the college on individuals who have made an invaluable contribution to the professional world of music and the life of the institution. We look forward to meeting some of them shortly and hearing about their work. Today, however, is first and foremost about our graduates. For those of you receiving your awards, you should be incredibly proud to have excelled in your studies in the wake of a global pandemic. As the world faces so many continuing challenges, many of which are impacting directly and indirectly on our industry, your determination to seize every opportunity to pursue your goals does you enormous credit. It is in this wider context that our 50th anniversary year provided a welcome and timely opportunity to celebrate what the RNCM is really about, with live music filling our building once again. There are far too many highlights to list here, but worthy of special mention is our performance of Bernstein's Mass at Bridgewater Hall, our opera gala with Opera North, and the legacy concerts given by our wind orchestra, big band and session orchestra. Looking beyond Manchester, our extraordinary history for composition was celebrated at the Wigmore Hall, while students and alumni performed alongside our professional partners in 2 proms concerts at the Royal Albert Hall. We were equally excited to open our doors to our wider community here in Manchester and the North West, celebrating the groundbreaking work taking place within RNCM Engage and welcoming local community groups to perform here at the college. The grand finale, an evening of inspiring and eclectic performances involving students across the college, brought to a close what was a truly remarkable year. Anyone who experienced our celebrations can be in no doubt about how far the RNCM has come since its foundation. Nor can they be in any doubt that the college is realising its strategic vision to define the future of music. Having retained our gold status in both categories of the UK's Teaching Excellence Framework this year, we were delighted to be shortlisted for a further 2 Times Higher Education Awards for outstanding contribution to environmental leadership and outstanding entrepreneurial university. The only conservatoire to have ever secured any of these prestigious awards, we were thrilled to be named as this year's Outstanding Entrepreneurial University, adding a 5th trophy to our increasingly full cabinet. We were also nominated this year as finalists for 3 Manchester Culture Awards in the Best Performance, Young Creative of the Year and Independent Creative of the Year categories, one of our eminent alumni securing the latter. These external endorsements are not only important to sustain the profile and reputation of the RNCM, but also for our current and prospective students, who can be assured they are studying at an institution recognised for and committed to excellence in everything it does. As our graduates here today know, studying music at a world-leading conservatoire like the RNCM demands not only exceptional talent and dedication, but also resilience and creativity. You have all shown these qualities throughout your time with us. Your commitment to your studies and to embracing radically different approaches to create, capture and share your work does you immense credit. As you enter a global music industry that is looking at how technology, and especially AI, might change the way it works into the future, this is something that I know will stand you in good stead. As we reflect on our landmark 50th anniversary, we can be confident that the RNCM today is truly recognised as one of the world's leading and most progressive conservatoires. It is you, our graduates, who will take this vision forward as you embark upon your careers. You will be the advocates for positive change in our profession and society, ensuring that music is accessible, inclusive and relevant to people of all ages and backgrounds in the years to come. In an increasingly challenging and diverse profession, one of the strongest indicators of our success is that graduates from the RNCM go on to establish and sustain fulfilling careers across the music industry and to make a significant difference to the lives and well-being of others in society. I'm confident that those of you graduating today will follow in these footsteps. You are about to join our global network of alumni, and wherever your lives and careers may take you, you will find friends and allies who studied here. When I speak to former students, it's obvious that the college occupies a very special place in their hearts. I hope it will in yours too. You leave the RNCM with a power not only to realise your dreams, but also to ensure that music is for everyone. I know you will use this power wisely. Your excellence as practitioners, complemented by your innovative spirit, entrepreneurial skills and commitment to others in society, are the qualities that will mark you out for your future success and a meaningful and sustainable career. Where you study remains on your CV for life, and I hope you will all be proud to be graduates of the RNCM. I'm confident that you will benefit from the esteem within which the college is held in the UK and overseas, and that this will put you in the strongest possible position for your future careers. I hope that in time you also want to join us in our mission to ensure other young people like you are able to fulfil their dreams of studying at the RNCM. A quality music education and training is expensive. We need to ensure that this does not exclude those who have the talent and aspiration to make music part of their lives, but lack the financial means to bring this to fruition. Our development team raises critical funding every year for students, facilitating opportunities that would otherwise be unable to be available to you, and building our scholarship and bursary funds for students. They need your help in spreading the word and encouraging people to support us wherever they can. This might be by donating a small amount to our annual fundraising campaigns, naming a seat in our concert hall or theatre as a special gift for a loved one, or supporting individual students through our named awards scheme. We have been deeply touched by some of our alumni and their families who have listed the RNCM in their legacy giving. In short, any help you can give us, large or small, would be very much appreciated. Your support will ensure that we can keep music live for generations to come. To conclude, I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate all of you receiving your awards today. To our new honorands, I welcome you warmly into the extended RNCM family. To our graduates, as alumni of the RNCM, you will always be very welcome here. Do please keep in touch with our alumni team. My colleagues would love to hear from you, to share and celebrate your news with the wider RNCM community, to support you in developing your professional connections and networks, and to champion you and your careers in any way they can. It has been a pleasure and a privilege to work with you in your time at the RNCM. As you take your next steps into the music profession, wherever in the world this may be, we will be following your progress with much interest and wishing you every success and happiness into the future. Thank you. President, on behalf of the RNCM, I now invite presentations of musicians who have been deemed worthy to be admitted as fellows of this college.
President, ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to present soprano Susan Bullock, CBE, for admission to Fellowship of the Royal Northern College of Music. Susan's unique position as one of the world's leading dramatic sopranos was recognised by the award of a CBE in 2014. She's an honorary Doctor of Music at the University of Manchester and a Fellow of the Royal Academy of Music. Susan is a local girl, having been brought up in Cheadle-Hulme and educated at Cheadle-Hulme School. After singing as a schoolgirl to Alexander Young, then head of the vocal department here at the RNCM in 1976, she was admitted to the junior school and began to take singing lessons. She then went on to study for a BMUS at Royal Holloway College, University of London, where she is an honorary fellow, and continued postgraduate studies at the Royal Academy of Music and the National Opera Studio with Marjorie Thomas. In 1984, Susan won the Kathleen Ferrier Prize, and this led to her becoming a principal artist at the English National Opera, where she remained for 4 years before leaving to become a freelance. In a career spanning over 40 years, she has earned her stripes. Susan has sung a huge variety of roles, ranging from Pamina to Electra, for which she won the Royal Philharmonic Society Singer Award in 2009, from Butterfly to Brunhilde, with notable debuts at the Royal Opera House, La Scala Milan, the Metropolitan Opera in New York, Opera Australia, and the Vienna Staatsoper, to name but a few, as well as appearing in the 2011 Last Night of the Proms and making a guest making a guest appearance in the closing ceremony of the 2012 London Olympics with Eric Idle of Monty Python fame. I blame him. Susan has performed and recorded worldwide with leading orchestras, conductors and pianists, and continues to explore new repertoire. She's now playing mothers in operas, When She Used to Be the Daughter, How Time Flies, and also appearing in innovative new works such as the Theatre of Sound's award-winning reimagined production of Bluebeard's Castle, and collaborating with current composers such as Missy Mazzoli. Susan's latest CD, Songs My Father Taught Me, will be released in 2024 and includes repertoire ranging from Rodgers and Hammerstein to Sondheim and Bacharach. She's also appeared in musical theatre as Mrs. Lovell in Sweeney Todd, in Houston and Bergen, and made her acting debut in the role of Goneril in King Lear at the 2021 Grange Festival with her father, Sir John Tomlinson. She is committed to nurturing young talent and leads workshops and masterclasses across the UK and abroad. Susan is an ambassador for Help Musicians, working to support musicians at every stage of their career, and she has been a cherished guest tutor here at the RNCM for several years, as well as being the president of the Board of Trustees of the Joyce and Kennedy Award for the Singing of Strauss. I would like to add that Susan is an exceptional and inspirational teacher. She is hugely respected by the profession, by her peers, as an artist of tremendous talent and integrity. Throughout her long career, Susan has had many highlights, and she continues to be inspired by many wonderful artists. Her advice to young musicians here today is simple. Never stop being curious about what you do. Always be prepared and try to be a good colleague. The challenges of the profession are many, but the rewards are wonderful. On a final note, Susan has asked me to say that receiving this honour from the RNCM and Sir John is very moving. She has played his daughter as Pamina, Brunhilde and Goneril, so it is not only a homecoming to where she started, but also a real family affair. President, ladies and gentlemen, I am honoured to have the privilege to present Susan Bullock for admission to fellowship of the Royal Northern College of Music, honoris causa.
President, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honour and privilege for me to deliver this speech to confer fellowship of the Royal Northern College of Music upon Graham Scott. This is in recognition of his outstanding contribution to the music profession. Graham is head of the School of Keyboard Studies here at the RNCM. He is also artistic director of the James Mottram International Piano Competition. He had many successes in international competitions, and he was the first artist ever to win both the Young Concert Artists auditions in New York and the Young Concert Artists Trust auditions in London. In their own words, these competitions launch the careers of extraordinary young musicians. As such, Graham has performed extensively throughout the world. In the USA, he's played in the principal concert halls of New York, Washington, D.C., Los Angeles. In the Far East, in Tokyo's Suntory Hall and Beijing's Concert Hall. He's performed throughout Europe and around the UK in our major concert venues. His concerto appearances have taken him far and wide to perform with the Cape Town Symphony, the Singapore Symphony, the New York Chamber Symphony, the Belgium National Symphony, and the London Philharmonic. He has broadcast extensively on BBC Radio and National Public Radio in the USA. His CD recordings include works of Scriabin, Gershwin, and Macmillan, and a disc of a live recital which he gave in Los Angeles. He's in demand as a jury member of the great piano competitions on the international circuit. As a committed teacher, many of his students have gone on to win top prizes in celebrated competitions. As an artistic director, he has curated 12 piano festivals at the RNCM. In one of these festivals, Graham invited 153 pianists to perform Chopin's complete works. Graham studied here in Manchester at both Cheetham School of Music and the RNCM. In fact, our studentships overlapped, and don't be too nervous. My main memory of him is seeing him walking at speed purposefully around the building, carrying his briefcase. He was clearly a young man on a mission. After leaving college, we went our separate ways, and about 10 years later, we were reconnected and found ourselves giving a number of chamber music concerts and duo recitals. On one occasion, we were giving a recital tour for Live Music Now. This organisation promotes traditional recitals, but importantly, it also puts musicians into community settings such as schools and healthcare centres. One of our recitals was in a home for elderly people in Holywell, North Wales. And in anticipation of this concert, Graham affectionately talked about our forthcoming appearance at the Holywell Bowl. We had perhaps misjudged our repertoire, and we'd included a late Beethoven sonata for cello and piano. However, upon arrival at the venue, we learnt that the missing element was a piano. Instead, Graham was given a plug-in Casio keyboard, and I can't specify the range except that it was about that long, and in the absence of anything better, he mounted it on a Zimmer frame, and behind which was a collapsible wire music stand. At one point, when I had a couple of bars rest, I turned to connect eyes with Graham, and I saw his little keyboard rocking from side to side at the same time as the music stand was rocking that way, and I'm sure there were a couple of tears down your face, which were composed of frustration and amusement and determination. And I tell this story only to speak of Graham's readiness to perform in challenging situations such as this. By complete contrast, one of Graham's most prestigious appearances was standing in at the last minute to replace the great Martha Argerich for a concerto performance in Germany. He also stood in, again at the last minute, to perform a piano quintet here with our students. Such is his generous artistry. He's an aficionado of the core piano greats, such as Chopin, Liszt and Scriabin. But what is less widely known about Graham is that he also has an exhaustive list of cocktail piano repertoire at his fingertips, and he takes great joy in improvising over tunes such as Autumn Leaves, Misty and Over the Rainbow. Maybe later. After. I'll conclude with a couple of quotes. Of Graham, one of his colleagues said, "He is an insightful masterclass giver, always encouraging and gently pushing the student forward." Another colleague said, "He is scrupulously fair to all students and works colossally hard for the school. He brings a wonderfully straightforward approach that allows pianists to get on with their best work without any drama. His piano playing is inspiring in its enormous expressive investment, conjuring up the richest colours at the keyboard." President, I am delighted to confer Fellowship of the Royal Northern College of Music upon Graham Scott, honoris causa.
President, on behalf of the RNCM, I now invite presentations of persons who have rendered distinguished service and are deemed worthy to be admitted as honorary members of this college.
President, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honour and a privilege for me to be able to deliver this speech to confer honorary membership of the Royal Northern College of Music upon Sarah Godley and Alice Herbert on behalf of the Howarth Trust for their services to philanthropy. Over the past 2 decades, the Howarth Trust's generous support, totalling more than £300,000, has touched many corners of conservatoire life. It has provided important scholarships for students who have gone on to successful music careers globally, including cellist Abel Salauche. It has enabled students to benefit from multiple series of masterclasses, most notably in cello. It has opened up life-changing bursaries for children through Junior RNCM. It has supported the RNCM International Chair in Cello, and it has helped to break down barriers to music training for young people through our Pathfinder project. Most recently, an extraordinary gift by the Howarth Trust and the Godley family to mark our 50th anniversary in 2023 ensured that the RNCM was able to start to breathe new life into our much-loved and architecturally significant roof garden, a secluded green space for the benefit and well-being of our students and staff. The Howarth Trust was founded by Jeremy Howarth in 1990 to give financial support to deserving young people with exceptional talent who are determined to make a career in the arts, especially in painting and in music. Having retired from a successful career in the City of London, Jeremy moved back to the north, where he devoted his life to studying art, building his own collection of paintings, offering financial support to artists, and promoting the traditional studies and practice of drawing and painting. He was also a keen gardener and conservationist with a love for the natural world. Jeremy's sister, Alison Godley, née Howarth, later expanded the interests of the Trust to include music. The Howarth Trust is truly a family affair. Its roots are firmly embedded in Manchester's musical landscape through Alice's work at Cheetham School of Music, Sarah's mother Alison, as well as Sarah's late father Richard. As a Royal Manchester College of Music alumna in the 50s, former RNCM staff and an honorary member herself, Alison was administrator of the RNCM International Cello Festival for nearly 20 years. Sarah's late father, Richard, was also a Royal Manchester College of Music alumnus and RNCM honorary member. As an RMCM council member, Richard was involved in shaping the vision of what became the Royal Northern College of Music in 1973, subsequently joining the RNCM Council. Richard was also deputy chair of the Halle, president of Manchester Chamber Concert Society, and director of the Manchester Midday Concert Society. Two of the RNCM's most energetic supporters, together with fellow trustee Rebecca Wright, and familiar faces at our events and performances, Sarah and Alice's vision, passion for, and interest in the RNCM's work, as well as their good humour and sense of fun, make them a pleasure to work alongside. We thank them for championing the RNCM through the Haworth Trust over so many years, and we count them as part of our valued family of supporters. President, I am delighted to confer honorary membership of the Royal Northern College of Music upon Sarah Godley and Alice Herbert on behalf of the Haworth Trust for their services to philanthropy. Honoris causa.
President, on behalf of the RNCM, I now invite presentations of recent graduates who have been deemed worthy to be admitted as associates of this college.
President, on behalf of the RNCM, it is my honour to present persons who have rendered distinguished service and are deemed worthy to be admitted as associate members of this college. Composer, conductor, and artistic director of open access LGBTQ+ choir The Sunday Boys, Michael Bettridge. Tenor and Yetta Parker artist at the Royal Opera House, Ryan Vaughan Davis. Composer, conductor, broadcaster, and founder of Constea Music, Leo Gaia. Soprano and recent graduate of the Royal Opera House Yetta Parker Young Artist Programme, currently making her Opera North debut as Fiordaligi in Così van tutti, Alexandra Lowe. Alt Pop Band and recording artists Porridge, Nathan Carroll, drums, Jacob Maguire, guitar, James Middleton, bass, Scout Moore, vocals and keys. Composer, musician and 2023 Jerome Hill Artist Fellow, Shruti Rajasakar. Conductor, composer and guest artist at Tanglewood Music Centre, Jack Sheen. Sub-principal second violin with the BBC Philharmonic and violin tutor at the University of Manchester, Lily Whitehurst. And singer, violinist, composer and recording artist, Alice Zavadsky.
President, on behalf of the Royal Northern College of Music, I present for the award of Doctor of Philosophy in Music Education with a thesis title, Using Group Improvisation and Imaginative Listening to Nurture Creative Autonomy in A-Level Music Students, Teaching Composition for Examination Purposes in England, Jenny Hartley. And for the award of Doctor of Philosophy in Musicology, with a thesis title, Grasping Nothing, a study of minimal ontologies in the sense of music, David Bainbridge. And for the award of Doctor of Philosophy in Performance, with the thesis title Arnold Cook's Chamber Music with Piano, Contexts, Stylistic Evolution and Performance, our colleague Harvey Davis. And for the award of Doctor of Philosophy in Composition, with a thesis title, Correspondence with Digital Materials, Exploring a Hybrid Composition Practice Across Multiple Domains, Towie Roberts.
President, on behalf of the Royal Northern College of Music, I present for the award of Master of Music in Composition, William Chester. Likchi Lau. Sophie Nolan. James Andrew Weatherly Buss. And for the award of Master of Music in Composition and Artistic Research, Po Hang Yoon. And for the award of Master of Music in Composition and Music Psychology, Alex Chapman. And for the award of Master of Music in Composition and Practice and Research in Science and Music, Tongi Poke Tehot Yusei. And for the award of Master of Music in Conducting, Lauren Wazenchak. And for the award of Master of Music in Performance, Joseph Ashmore. Jodie Bailey. Robert Bates. India Lily Blackshaw Britton. Anusha Merin Bobby. Thomas Paul Vincent Broadbent. Jane Burnell. Edward Campbell Roundtree. Jin Hui Cao. Morgan Astrid Jitlada Carter. Becky Elizabeth Chung. Chuk Hei Choi. Sophie Clark. Joseph Clarkson. Emily Costigan. Miles Docherty. Fang Ning Dong. He Dong. Lucy Kate Farrimond. Ning Han Feng. Priscilla Fong. Christopher Fox. James Gillett. Sarah Michelle Green. Karen Hadas. Nuo Han. Sophie Herson. Jessica Mary Hopkins. Jessica May Hughes. Kanchana Jaishankar. Katie Jenkinson. Bogdan Yeller. Christopher Stephen Karwachinski. Thomas Knowles. Lok Wai Leung. Li Yuan Li. Callum McCandless. Dominic Luke Morgan. Olivia Morton. Benjamin Joseph Norris. Patrick James Osborne. Robin Elizabeth Poulin. Jack Rainey. Michael Shue. Henry Strutt. Andrew James Taheny. Evie Wang. Alexandra Maria Reber Garcia. Leah Wing. Abby Louise Young. Mingshan Zhong. And for the award of Master of Music in Performance and Artistic Research, Justine Gormley. And for the award of Master of Music in Performance and Music Education, Ines Ferreira. Matilda Cabral Viegas. And for the award of Master of Music in Performance and Musicology, Adam John Jarman. Phoebe Watts. And for the award of Master of Music in Performance and Vocal Pedagogy, Jonathan Hill. And for the award of Master of Music in Popular Music, Ricardo O'Grady. Robert Morgan Palmer-Fenney. And for the award of Master of Music in Popular Music and Music Psychology, Ruth Marie Owens.
President, on behalf of the Royal Northern College of Music, I present for the award of Master of Performance, Tsi-Zong Chen. Xiao Lun He. Cam Hung Lai. Yifan Ma. Gustav Ranum. Renjie Sun. Zeu Yan. Yu Chong Arthur Yu. Zhengwen Zhang. And for the award of Master of Performance in Popular Music, Yodan Yuang. Trenzi Zhang. And for the award of Postgraduate Diploma Advanced Studies in Composition, Christopher Jack Cook. And for the award of Postgraduate Diploma Advanced Studies in Performance, Rebecca Anderson. Caroline Behan. Edward Campbell Roundtree, again. Beatrice Carvalho. Leda Mileto. Hannah O'Brien. Connor Prescott. Naomi Alice Riley Robinson. Wing Shuen Stephanie Wong. Miranda Polly Woodward. And for the award of postgraduate diploma, Laura Shelby Kiego Greer. Jamada Roberts. President, that concludes the presentation of postgraduate awards. The names of those graduating in absentia are listed in the programme.
President, I present the students of the Royal Northern College of Music who have been selected to receive a gold medal. Tanguy Poquet de Haut-Jussey. Jason Wong. Daisy Cameron.
Hello. You've done it. Before I say anything more, I would like to once again congratulate every single one of you for reaching such a significant milestone on your various paths through music. Congratulations. What an incredible journey this is proving to be. Though the vast majority of you have been working towards this day for the past 2 years at least, the route has been very far from simple. I never thought that I would be the one stood here speaking to you all today. So for this absolute honour, I thank you very much. I often think back to the very beginning of my first year. For many of us, our first real taste of freedom. We'd all arrived in Manchester from massively different backgrounds, different countries, languages, cultures. but a shared love for music. That first week was daunting, but we were able to throw ourselves into college life from the very beginning and embrace the work hard, play hard ethos of the college. I'm not sure about any of you, but by the end of my Freshers' Week, I felt that I had met almost everyone at the RNCM. I think that without the unbelievable sense of community that is quite unique to here, our experiences of the last 2 years would have been very different. The thing that I remember more than anything in that first week was an absolute certainty that at this point in my life, I had made the right decision, and that the RNCM was the best place for me. It was the one thing that I was always able to hold on to when the going got tough. Especially for you, those of you who have been here since 2019, there were moments where I think we all wondered what our futures might look like, at least a little. I think the biggest realization at the beginning for many of us was just how much work lay ahead. Perhaps the second greatest skill that we honed early on was how to balance hard work with the freedom to spend time with friends. Some of us took longer to work this one out than others, and on more than one occasion may have misplaced our motivation to brush up on Schenkerian analysis, somewhere between the college bar, footage, and Brickhouse on a Thursday night. This aside, when I started here, I was inspired to work harder than I ever had done before, and needless to say, was loving my new life in Manchester. I spent a long time trying to figure out how I could give this speech without mentioning COVID, but it struck me that it would be insincere not to acknowledge perhaps the biggest thing in many of our lives over the past 4 years, whether or not you were studying at the RNCM when everything unfolded. When March 2020 rolled around, things changed just a bit. I've never heard the word unprecedented used so many times. This was scary and a truly distressing time for people around the world. I do think, though, that it is important to look at the positives that were facilitated, in a way, by coronavirus. As the entire world stopped in its tracks, we were forced to introspect and to consider our priorities. I really began to appreciate the value of human connection, especially within music making. The lockdowns motivated a lot of people to establish healthy, productive routines and make the most of their time during this period of uncertainty. Some learnt a language, some got fit, some wrote a book. Good for you guys. I definitely fell into the other camp. Everything that I loved about music had been taken away. There was no longer the option to share our art form with others, and I, alongside many others, struggled for motivation. When my second year began, I was fortunate enough to have been able to move back to Manchester, into a house with 7 of my closest friends. We were strictly locked down, but these are still some of my favourite memories from my time at the RNCM. I was able to reconnect with music and with people. We learnt to take great joy from small things, which is a skill I have tried to hold on to. I've also never played so much Mario Kart in my life. At the end of my second year was RNCM Reunite. And those of you who were studying here at the time will remember the difficulties of playing in an orchestra whilst remaining 3 meters apart. You will also remember the brief golden period where you could order drinks from the RNCM bar directly to your table. Incredibly though, this was not even the most exciting part of Reunite. For many of us, it was the first time in over a year that we had been able to play real music with real people in real life. I can't even begin to describe how that felt. Since Reunite, things have become more and more normal, and our last year marked the beginning of the RNCM's 50th. This was an amazing celebration and has given us so many memories and moments to be truly proud of. It couldn't have come at a better time, and I think showed a real statement of intent from the college. I hope that I'll be around for RNCM 100. I can't wait to see what the next 50 years have in store. Clearly, a great deal has changed during our time at the RNCM, both within the field of music and across the entire world. There is no denying that our industry is undergoing radical change, and there may have been moments where its future has felt bleak. The ancient general Sun Tzu wrote that victory comes from finding opportunities in problems. And while this may not be a war, it certainly is a time of opportunity. If the past 4 years have taught us anything, it's that we can adapt, and that we will. Look at us all now, graduating after what has possibly been the most turbulent period in many of our lives. What better way to prove our strength as a generation? The RNCM, in its 50 short years, has built a reputation for producing a special type of musician. Our alumni are everywhere and in countless numbers are leading their fields, creating their own opportunities, and many taking music in new directions. RNCM alumni are many things: creative, resilient, passionate, but above all, they are innovative. This, I think, is what sets the RNCM apart as an institution. Not only does it preserve the tradition of classical music, but it encourages its students to be individual and to forge their own paths, both within music, classical and pop, but also in other areas. We owe it not just to ourselves, but to our friends and to our colleagues to carry forward the skills and the independence that we have gained in our time here to whatever comes next for each of us. To innovate. A passion for music is no longer enough. This group of people here today will be the ones to shape the future. In many ways, we have already begun. Knowing so many of you, I can't express how confident I feel that there are great things on the horizon, and I am so excited to see what is to come. Music is always changing. Now we are alumni of the RNCM, and this is our chapter to write. It's our responsibility to lead this change and to inspire a new generation of musicians. There are countless people responsible for us being here today, both inside and outside of the college. I don't have time to mention everybody, but I would like to use this moment to thank them all. I would like to thank the people who have been there right from the beginning, our families. Without your influence, none of us would be playing music today. I hope that now you can see the joy this world brings us. This justifies enduring how we all sounded 15 years ago. Thank you again to my tutors and family for all your support. I thanked you properly in my graduation ceremony this morning, so we'll spare everyone a moment or two now. In my first few months as president of the Students' Union, I have gained a real insight into the behind the scenes of the RNCM and seen just how much work and dedication goes into delivering everything that goes on here. The student body really is at the heart of every decision made, and I think that much is clear. Thank you first to the porters, security, reception, catering, and cleaning staff, without whom none of what we do would be possible. I am proud to represent an institution where you are such an integral part of our communities. In many ways, you are the face of the RNCM. You're the first to be seen by external guests and new students alike. Always friendly, always welcoming. I would like to give an extra shout out to Audrey, who radiates joy across the cafe and has never failed to brighten my day. Thank you to Ravi and the Board of Governors for guiding the college with your expertise and ensuring that every measure is taken to provide the best possible experience for students at the RNCM. Thank you to Linda and to her executive team for all that you do to make this place as incredible as it is, for your tireless commitment to our students, and also for the immense support you have all shown me in my new role. Thank you to our heads of schools and principal study tutors for your belief in us and for pushing us to be the best musicians possible. Thank you also to our wonderful staff pianists for your calmness and encouragement through exams and recitals. Your collectedness under the pressure of a performance is more reassuring to us all than you may realise. To our lecturers and to academic staff who constantly go above and beyond what is expected of them to ensure that we all have the opportunity to excel. To student services and to our school administrators for helping to make our experience as smooth as possible and providing advice when we need it most. Thank you to the library for making sure that the right music is always available to us and for helping us to track down difficult to find academic papers. Thank you also for your recent fine amnesty. Thank you to orchestras and ensembles for all the work you do to give us such wonderful performance opportunities, processing our absence requests and sometimes chasing us into rehearsals. Thanks to the Wellbeing and Language Support Team for everything that you do in creating an environment that is safe and supportive for all students. Finally, thank you to the sound and video team for all your work to help us share our music with families and friends not able to join us in Manchester. To all these people, and to anyone I may have missed, thank you. One final thank you to you, my friends, for sharing this time with me. Without you, this would have been so much harder. Being surrounded by such fiercely accomplished musicians has always been the thing that has motivated me to improve myself. Your cohort has always inspired mine to follow in your footsteps and strive for even greater things. Whether or not you know it, you will each have inspired someone in some way, and I cannot stress how important that has been for us. For me, today is about much more than graduating. Today is about celebrating who we have become as people and acknowledging the challenges we have all overcome to make it here together. To the RNCM and to all of you, thank you so much for these last few years. It has been a pleasure. Thank you.
As an opera singer of 50 years experience, I shouldn't really use the microphone. So here I am, just me and my voice. Thank you, Sam, for such a heartfelt, honest, moving appraisal of your last few years here. You, of course, talk about the future and moving into the future. It's already begun, as you say. Perhaps in the course of the next couple of minutes, I'll talk a little bit too about the past, just to balance things up a bit. But you're absolutely right. It's a great honour for me to be the president of this great college. A pleasure also, a great pleasure to present the awards to all of you and spend just, 2 seconds with each of you on this day of celebration of your awards. And the honorands, also many congratulations to you. Whenever I come into this building, I love it. I love coming back because it's lively and it's creative and there's a buzz about the place which is very invigorating. It reminds me, of course, of my own student days, which were some time ago, I have to say. In fact, before this building was built, my time at this college, as it was then in the late 60s, was the Royal Manchester College of Music, the other side of the university down Oxford Road. And that's the college that merged with the Northern School in 1971 to create this great place. And this is when most of this building was built. Now, my 4 years at college were, I owe so much to those years. I was brought up as a lad just 20 miles north in a place called Oswald Twistle, which was a small industrial town back in the 50s and 60s. And a lot of people had a lot of miserable jobs, and in the evening they played brass instruments and they sang in choirs for spiritual refreshment. And that's where my singing came from, really. And my family, I was the youngest of 5 kids, they were all above me singing and playing. My extended family was 30 strong, and there were organists and pianists and singing teachers. And so singing, I was brought up singing. But those 4 years at college were the years that really made me into a proper singer. And over the last decades, you know, I've been on so many stages and sung so many performances. I've often felt great gratitude to those 4 years, which it's not just the 4 years where I learnt so much musically and dramatically and linguistically and musically and vocally, of course, the most important thing of all. It's the years that follow, because that's the foundation for your learning for the rest of your life, really. You carry on learning and learning every day for the rest of your life. Even yesterday, just working here with colleagues, working with some students and with various sessions, you know, I'm still learning things, which is surprising, to say the least. Being a performer, being a musical performer, is actually very demanding. But of course it brings great enjoyment too. And you know, perhaps just a word about this wonderful phenomenon of music. Perhaps a word about that just to finish. Because the world has got such problems at the moment, you know, it's distressing, isn't it? There's so much apparently going wrong in the world, and of course music cannot solve all these problems. But I think music can do a great job. Music can help immensely, because music crosses all borders of nation. It crosses all borders of ethnicity, of religion, of culture, and it brings us all together. And it expresses what it is to live on this planet. The joys and the suffering of being alive is expressed so incredibly mysteriously in music. Music, as an old advert used to say, reaches parts that other art forms don't reach. It makes us get up and dance, and it brings a tear to the eye unexpectedly. Now, as Sam, I think, said, we are all in this room because of music. And so on this platform, we all wish all of you for the future, wherever your lives take you in the service of music, we wish you great joy and great fulfillment. Congratulations to you all, and thank you for listening.
Sadly, we're approaching the end of our celebration, but maybe the start of yours. I think one final massive, massive round of applause to all of our students and all of our honorands. So in keeping with tradition, we will end with the national anthem. Before I introduce one of our amazing students, just a bit of housekeeping if you don't mind. I humbly request, after the ceremony has concluded, that our dear guests stay in your seats whilst the procession leaves the auditorium and whilst our students leave the auditorium. So for our final close, I would like everyone to be upstanding and raise a warm hand for Jess Hopkins, who will be singing the national anthem.